Item number 10B, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Pacific States Environmental in the amount of $90,800 for the demolition of 3 homes declared total losses from the Glenview fire.
Thank you, and good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. At current count, the Glenview fire has completely destroyed 30 homes as well as damaged 58 more. As the council knows, the County of San Mateo, in conjunction with the state of California, specifically CalRecycle, coordinated the initial debris removal process. And the initial debris removal process included the 35 homes that were first destroyed by the fire. There are about 20 or so other homes that are yellow tagged, which means that they were structurally sound to enter, but they were not safe to occupy. And a number of those homeowners have identified improvements that can be made to those homes in order to eventually make them habitable again. However, 3 of the homeowners have identified with their insurance companies that these homes are total losses. And what that means is that from a cost standpoint, it makes more sense to completely demolish the home and rebuild than it would be to repair the existing structure. These 3 homes are located at 2725 Concord, 1127 Glenview, as well as 960 Glenview. In an effort to expedite and provide a coordinated process for these 3 homeowners, the same way that 35 homeowners did, staff contacted the County of San Mateo as well as the state to see if they could handle the process. Unfortunately, they could not because the funding and resources that were available were only available for the initial debris removal process. So with that in mind, staff contacted the contractor who handled the initial debris removal effort, Pacific Coast Environmental Contractors, and asked them for a proposal to demolish the homes. And one thing to keep in mind is, absent us handling the process, this would be something that the property owners would have to handle themselves. However, the initial 35 did not, so we thought this would be appropriate that we handle it for these 3 homeowners as well. Staff met with each homeowner, met with the contractor on site, took a tour of the site, the state of each condition of home, and received a proposal from the contractor in the amount of $90,800. The specific amounts for each home are detailed in the proposal, which is attached to the staff report. They're basically the same, although they're all small variations depending on the state of the home, how much debris is there, how much burnt material there is. In addition to the Glenview fire cleanup experience, Pacific Coast Environmental also has fire cleanup experience throughout the state of California and do demolition and remediation work as their usual line of business. Of course, we would coordinate with the county health department as well as the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, closely consult with them to make sure that all environmental laws are met during the debris removal process for these 3 homes. Regarding the costs, as you could see from the attached letter from PG&E, as they did with the initial 35 homes, has agreed to advance the funds to cover this contract and cover the contract in its entirety. And finally, if this contract is approved, staff will work with the contractor as well with the individual property owners to set up an appropriate time to start this demolition work. So I could take any questions that the council may have.
Any questions of staff?
Through the chair. Aaron, so in the staff report you stated that 38 homes were destroyed by the fire, and then these 3 would make 41 homes that will be totally demolished?
No, the initial was the 35 homes. These 3 make the 38 total destroyed.
So, and now the overlay zone that we spoke about earlier, the 55 homes that are within the overlay zone, the remainder, so there's 17 more homes that are yellow tagged but uninhabited.
Correct.
Is there any chance that they may have to be demolished? Are they still in being reviewed and inspected?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, these are the 3 homeowners that we've heard from. We've talked to several of the other homeowners. For instance, the home on Claremont, I believe it's 1720 Claremont, that pink home, and they've already demolished part of it, working with their private contractor and their insurance company. So there are some homes that will have to demolish certain portions of their home. These are the only 3 that we know were declared total losses, and therefore will have to be completely removed.
Okay.
Any other questions of staff? Michael?
Aaron, in the report, you mentioned that these 3 homes won't require hazardous material removal? Why is that?
Well, there was a specific process that was followed because the amount of ash and burn material that was associated with the first 35 homes. This will have to go through your typical Bay Area Air Quality Management District requirements for asbestos removal. One of the homes actually on Glenview already has it. They demoed a lot of the interior. So that will still have to be complied with. We're going to consult with the county, but there still isn't the amount of ash that was around when the first 35 homes were done. So there's not the same standards that have to be followed.
Okay. And you also mentioned in there that the cost for the initial 35 homes is not yet finalized. Can you give us some idea of what work still remains to be done for those initial?
Well, I think it's, we haven't been directly involved in that because that's something that was handled, coordinated by the county and then Pacific Coast Environmental. I think they're just adding up the final costs that were associated with so it's ballpark $1,500,000. And it might change by, $10,000, $15,000, but that's the estimate at this point.
Okay. And you mentioned that the county basically had oversight for the initial project.
Mhm.
These additional 3, are those going to fall under the jurisdiction of your department, and will you be overseeing the work?
Correct.
Okay.
Although we'll consult closely with county health to make sure all the environmental measures are in place.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? Action?
I'll go ahead and introduce a resolution for adoption, please.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.